Hey everybody, give me a second. I have to mute my damn phone. Okay, let me see if I can find myself. Let's see. There I go. All right, now, there's nobody in the chat right now, so I'm just going to start talking. Welcome to Sexy Harlem Space. I am here to drop the eighth lupus fact because today is May the 8th. So, this lupus fact states lupus has many different symptoms and affects each person differently. Now, I said yesterday that this live was going to be a little bit long because, hello, one person, because I wanted to go through exactly what the symptoms could be. So I am at www.lupus.org and it says common symptoms of lupus. It says because lupus can affect so many different organs, a wide range of signs and symptoms can occur. These symptoms may come and go, and different symptoms may appear at different times during the course of the disease. Okay. The most common symptoms of lupus, which are the same for men and women, because men can get lupus too. Their percentage is low, but they can get lupus too. I think it's a 90% to 10% ratio. I think that's how you say it, but I digress. Uh, let's start with the first one, extreme fatigue. Okay, let me see. I don't want to make this too long. Okay. Extreme fatigue is like when you are tired for no reason, just no reason at all. I mean, when the extreme fatigue happens to me, I know I'm going into a flare. And at that point, I can't do anything. And when I say anything, I'm not talking about the simple stuff like getting up to go to the bathroom, or that's as far as it goes. I can get up to go to the bathroom. I have to get right back into bed. Those are the times that my wife takes care of me. Um, Headaches. Now, since I have allergies, I don't know if it's allergy related or if it's a lupus headache. Now, I do have allergy medicine that I take, which is Flonase. If I take the Flonase and it doesn't work within 15 minutes, then I know it's a lupus headache. Okay, the next symptom is painful or swollen joints. And let me see. This is where arthritis comes in. We have inflammation, and it states inflammation is the most common reason for muscle for muscle pain and aches at any time that major inflammation exists. Okay, signs and symptoms often include fever, sweats, chills, fatigue, weight loss, and various muscle aches, pains, and weakness. Okay, lupus arthritis causes pain, stiffness, swelling, tenderness, and warmth in your joints. Now, I started off with rheumatoid arthritis. I now have osteoarthritis. I don't get swelling too much, but when I do, it's not major, it's like minor. My hands, sometimes, I can feel it. I can feel the swelling, but no one can see it, but I can feel it, you know. Moving on to the next symptom is fever. A person with lupus normally, if we're going into a flare, the fever start around about 100. Anything over 100 is ER material. When I say ER, I'm talking about emergency room. 101, 102, 103 is just not good. Anything over 100 is not good for us. I normally try to get my fever down myself. If it doesn't go down, then I know I have to make a trip to the emergency room. The next symptom is anemia. Low numbers of red blood cells or hemoglobin or low total blood volume. Okay. That anemia has happened to me on several occasions. Okay, whenever I go to my lupus doctor or my dermatologist, I always ask what these numbers are. I want to know what my platelets are. Um, I want to know what my platelets are. I want to know what my red blood cell count is, my white blood cell count is, and most of the time those numbers are low. They aren't low enough for they aren't low enough for hospitalization, but they are low, and they tell me, certain things I can do to get them up. Which one of them is eat liver, and I only eat liver once a year because I don't like it. And even when I cook it, I have to smother it in gravy and onions and peppers. That's the only way I can eat liver. All right, so uh, the next symptom is swelling, edema in the legs, feet, hands, and or around the eyes. We just talked about that. Um, some people with lupus, you can really see the swelling. I mean, I have seen some people where their swelling is so prominent they can't even put their shoes on. They can't put their gloves on. And I haven't seen anyone get it around the eyes. I've just seen it with feet, legs, and hands. I know, like I said before, my swelling does not show, but I can feel it in my hands. Okay, the next symptom is pain in the chest on deep breathing. That is called pleurisy. That means that um, your lungs are irritated. Okay, so if I'm taking a deep breath and it's hurting me, then I have to go to the emergency room. Okay, because if last week I was taking deep breaths and nothing happened, and this week I'm taking deep breaths and I can barely stand it, then I know something is wrong. Okay, the next symptom is butterfly shaped rash across the cheeks and nose. Now, I've seen some people get this rash on their face, and believe it or not, it does look like a butterfly somewhat. Um, I haven't uh, really seen it here of late, but I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook and on Twitter, so in these groups, they do show their faces, and the butterfly rash is like a rash across the nose and under the eyes, and it spreads out towards the ears, and it does look like a butterfly. Okay, the next symptom is sun or light sensitivity. That's called photosensitivity. Now, that is a major thing for me. Major. Because I have discoid lupus with SLE symptoms. The SLE symptoms are the swelling of the hands and, various pains here and there. But the biggest organ on our body is our skin, and that is what is affected by lupus for me. And this sun and light sensitivity is really hard for me because I used to be a person that would go to the beach, go to the pool. This is when I was younger, before lupus. I would garden. I would do a whole bunch of things. I was an active, outside, sunlight person. And now the sun is my enemy. Okay, when I say my enemy, this is what I mean. I have to wear long sleeves all year round. If I wear short sleeves, I have to wear a duster, like a light sweater or a light jacket. Not only do I have to do that, I have to, in the summertime, what I mostly do is now as a lupus patient, most of us are not supposed to be outside between the hours of 9 and 4 because as the day goes on around about 12, that's when the sun is its highest, and that's when the heat really comes down. It doesn't start cooling off until around about 3 or 4 o'clock. Now, do you know how hard it is for me to, know that everybody's out in the summertime, they're enjoying themselves, they're going to barbecues, they're having parties, they're doing this, that, and the third, and I feel left out most of the time. So what I do is I make sure I have everything I could ever want inside. Like video games. I make sure I have, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, so I can watch what I want. I have YouTube, of course. I have other projects, like hobbies that I work on, like diamond painting. I do that. And that within itself is really relaxing. Um, there isn't too much else that I can do inside. Okay, I play with the cat. He happens to be right here next to me. Um, I try to find various things to do to keep myself entertained until the sun goes down. Let's say around about 6 or 7 o'clock, that's when the sun is going down. I cannot go to any picnics or anything, like that. By that time, those picnics and all that is all over. But see, I have great friends. You understand? So they know I can't come. So what they'll do is they'll put a plate aside for me and send it by my wife. And that's a beautiful thing. A lot of people don't understand um, that being in the sun could basically kill me. I don't want to, go somewhere or go out somewhere and I pass out because the sun is literally my enemy. Let me get back to what I was saying. I have to wear long sleeves all year round. Okay. If I'm not wearing long sleeves, I have to wear something that covers my arms. I also have to wear a hat. Women wear straw hats in the summertime to keep the sun off of them. Not only do I have to wear the hat, I have to have something under that hat. And then I have to put the hat on, like a scarf or something like that. That's what I usually wear under the hat, a scarf. So now I have, but wait a minute, let me go all the way back. First of all, I have to put on sunscreen, okay? Put on the sunscreen, put on the long sleeves, um, put on the scarf, put on the hat, and then I have to carry an umbrella. So if I'm going out in the daytime, this is a daily routine for me. Like if I have to go to a doctor's appointment in the summertime, I have to do all those things I just said. Okay, I have to carry an umbrella. I have to wear a hat. I have to wear something under that hat. And see, I can't wear just any style of hat. If the hat has like whole designs in it, I can't wear that hat. This has to be um coverage. You understand? And hats weren't my thing before lupus happened. Hats were not my thing. I would go out in the sun, I would have a good time, but those days are gone. They're gone. So, sun or light sensitivity. Um, there are certain lights that we use in our homes that give me a problem as well. You understand? I really haven't had an issue with like a light bulb, but sun sensitivity, the way my apartment is set up, I have to draw shades. You understand? I have the curtains in my living room that block out the sun. I have the curtains in my bedroom that do the same thing. It's a whole lifestyle change that a lot of people just don't understand. Now, let's move on to the next symptom. The next symptom is hair loss. And yes, I have lost hair. My hair used to be down to my shoulders. It's not anymore. It's not. Alopecia has affected a lot of people, and I just couldn't understand it. Oh, I have hair. Don't get me wrong. There is hair. Okay. It's just not enough for me to make an afro. Okay. Or go sit in a beauty salon and let them give me like what would you call that? A weave. So that's why I wear wigs. And sometimes I don't want to wear a wig, so you'll see me with a scarf on. Let's move on to the next symptom, abnormal blood clotting. And that is an issue with a lot of people that have lupus. Hold on for a second. I'm going to mute this out. Okay, they have gone on now. Sorry about that. I don't like to have that noise in my video, but sometimes you just can't help it. Okay, abnormal blood clotting. That is an issue with a lot of lupus patients. I have not had that issue, and I don't expect to. But you can never tell because lupus is a fickle thing. You never know when you're going to have some or all of these symptoms. So let's move on. Fingers turning white and or blue when cold. That happens to me, especially in the wintertime. My fingertips will turn white. And at first, I became afraid. I didn't know what was going on. So, my doctor told me what it was. So now I take like extra precautions. I make sure in the wintertime I have my gloves more than one pair. I make sure that I'm wearing a warm coat. So just in case, and my fingertips go numb as well. Now, that they being numb and white, that means I can't feel them. So I have my gloves on and I'll put my hands in my pockets. That way they can warm up. Or I'll wear what are those things called? When you insert them in your gloves, I guess you would call them hand warmers. That's what they're called. I keep some of those hand warmers. Now, the next symptom is mouth or nose ulcers, and that has not happened to me. But I've seen pictures and they're not pretty, not at all. Okay, now it says at the bottom, many of these symptoms occur in other illnesses. Remember, I said lupus is the great imitator. In fact, lupus is sometimes called the great imitator because its symptoms are often like the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis and blood disorders, fibromyalgia, diabetes, thyroid problems, Lyme disease, and a number of heart, lung, muscle, and bone diseases. Now, I have had muscle issues to where I'll get cramping in my legs. Those cramps are, ooh, those cramps were so bad one time that my grandchildren were here. And I'm telling you, laying on the floor crying, crying. I didn't want anyone to touch me, but it was so bad. And I noticed that when you don't drink a lot of water, that is when that occurs. So throughout the day, I try to drink at least 4 glasses of water, if not more, to keep those muscle cramps away from me. Sometimes it works, and child, sometimes it don't. Okay. Now, what else did I want to say? Let me see. Because I have more notes here. Oh, okay. I also wanted to make you all aware that lupus is a chronic, complex, and prevalent autoimmune disease that affects more than 1.5 million Americans, and that includes not just women, men, and children as well. It is okay, this is another thing I wanted to say. It's hard to explain to someone who has no clue. It's a daily struggle being in pain or feeling sick on the inside when you look fine on the outside. And trust me, that is hard. People sit in judgment. You understand? They don't know what's going on with you. They don't know. And then if they politely ask and you tell them, then they want to go into their aunt, their uncle, or someone else they knew that had lupus and passed away. I'm going to say this again. That is not something you should say to a person who is battling this disease. You should never judge what you don't understand. And a lot of people don't understand it. Even for those who might have a clue, they shouldn't sit in judgment because I say this, and I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying it because it's the truth. It could be you. It could be not only you, but somebody in your family or somebody you know. You understand? And that's just all around the world. You should never sit in judgment of anyone who's going through anything that you have no clue about. Okay. Um, I will be here tomorrow to drop another lupus fact. I'm just looking at my notes because, mm, okay, let me say this too. Well, let me read this. Lupus is a complicated and unpredictable disease. You don't know when symptoms will strike or how long a flare will last, and that's the truth. Over time, SLE, which is systemic lupus erythematosus, say that 3 times fast. um, that can even lead to organ damage. So that's why it's important to keep track of all your symptoms, even the ones you might not have associated with lupus. You got to share these things with your doctor. I don't care if it's a pain in your pinky toe. If you have lupus, you better tell your doctor because it can lead to other things. Your body warns you about things. For those who pay attention to their body, your body warns you about stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, you shouldn't be a hypochondriac about it, but you shouldn't just put it to the side and be like, oh yeah, whatever, whatever. No, when you have lupus, you cannot do that. You can't. Trust me. I know. So I want to thank you all for coming through the Sexy Harlem space and getting the eighth lupus fact for today, which is May 8th, 2019. You all take care. Remember to smile and hug someone. They might need it. Take care. Peace out.